And okay, haha, and we're live, I believe. All right, everything is fine now. Let's see. Alrighty then. Yep, we're live. Alrighty. Why, hello, Immerverse. How's it going?
There you are.
Here I am. Hooray! All right. So, I guess welcome to Tiny, not Tiny Chat, but Hat Chat. And I get an ad. Delicious. Okay. Let's see if we can. No, we'll go ahead and stop you. Nope, stop. Uh, good times. Yeah, I know. But some of us aren't nearly as cool, I guess.
I got my ad blocker on Firefox. My ad blocker on Firefox gets rid of all the ads for me.
Even on Ustream? Although we wouldn't talk about blocking ads on Ustream while we're broadcasting on Ustream because that would be bad. So everybody watch all the ads on Ustream because yay.
I probably shouldn't also talk about how I pirate the videos and download them.
Hello everyone, and I hope you guys are doing well. We are now 1 week into Freedom Farm. There are 3 episodes to go in the next 3 weeks. I hope you guys are enjoying it and having fun. Yes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Saturday was amazing.
Good times. Yeah, so we're trying many different things with this one. The first one, Kill Cam, was a nice big huge project, and then we did a nice smaller one with Agnes Day, and then we did a really long one with Alice's Eyes, and this one we're probably going about medium length. And we're constantly trying different things, constantly trying to see what we can do with this live format that we're working in. Thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out and for being a part of the community. Really, it's been a lot of fun watching you guys watch us. And like sincerely from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for coming on this ride with us. It's been a lot of fun, and we hope to do many more. So if you guys have any questions, I'll answer anything you have, mostly.
Spoilers, huh?
Oh, spoilers. Yes, it ends eventually. That happens, and then if that was happens, and then dude, on episode 3, there's this whole part where. Oh, did you get that part? That was awesome. Hopefully nothing happens. But then in episode 4, we have and then so we have all of that going on. So hopefully you guys will like that. But don't tell anyone. Shh. All right. So let's see, you guys. Will the next episode be a week later in the universe? Ooh, that's a good question, Doug. Whomever you are.
I was wondering that one as well.
Okay, yes, this is something I will answer because it's something you guys probably need to know. So for Kill Cam, of course, it was 3 days straight, and obviously all in real time. Agnes Day was also in real time when it was live. Alice's Eyes was a whole week long. This project, of course, we're breaking it up into episodes. So you guys are probably wondering, how does this fit? Are we now jumping forward a week in time? In fact, we are not jumping forward a week in time. We are when we come back live, only 13 hours have passed since the cameras went dark. So you saw from 2 to midnight. When we pick up again, it would be as if only 13 hours have passed. Now you're saying, oh, 13 hours, does that mean you're starting later?
So
Yes.
it would be like the next morning.
Yes, we are picking up the next morning, April the 21st, at 3 p.m. is when we're picking up. So we are starting an hour later at 3 o'clock. So let all your friends know. We'll be updating our schedule and all of that fun stuff. Um, so yes, we are starting at 3 o'clock. It is 13 hours later from when we pick up. So of course, many things have happened in 13 hours that you'll need to be caught up on. But that is what we're going to do with each episode. We're going to have the episode, and then uh, about 12 to 13 hours will pass before the next episode begins. So the entire series will take place over 4 days, even though you guys are watching the episodes a week apart. Um, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that you guys need to know going in. We hope to have a quick recap video for you guys, so that you guys can. So when a new person comes in and be like, "Oh, what happened?" You can be like, "Hey, this is what happened in the first episode," and then you can recap them whatever it is on the that has happened so far that day. So we're working really hard in the background, constantly changing and evolving. This is a live project, and with a live project, there are many things that happen that change the directions that we were going in. So, and for me, that's probably the most fun is the discovery of where we're going. We have this vague idea of where we're going. We have a vague roadmap to a place that doesn't exist, and we're following it the best we can. And I believe that there's gold at the end of this trail, so we're gonna keep going. Um, let's see. Do you guys have any questions so far, or anything about Alice's eyes, kill cam?
Yeah. In Alice's eyes, I mean, what was it like having to keep up with everything that you were doing from day to day?
It was crazy and fun. With kill cam, it was 3 days at a time, and we were telling moments of a larger story that we already shot. So it kept us, even though we're working, 3 days at a time, it still kept the time frame set. But with something with Alice's Eyes, where we stretched it out for a whole week and we were telling a story in real time for 172 hours, that was a huge challenge. Because we're constantly changing the story to have it go along with what is actually happening in reality. We have these goals that we plan on hitting, and sometimes we hit them, and then sometimes the story deviates so much that we cannot hit a certain goal. So we sit around and change everything. Um, but also with kill cam, because it was 3 days, we could sleep occasionally. With Alice's Eyes, it was 172 straight hours, and getting sleep was.
Yeah, that's one thing that I was really wondering, because I mean, you could probably not get any sleep between periods of any kind.
Exactly, and the thing is that we would force ourselves to sleep. We would force ourselves to remember, hey, we need to step off and go to sleep. There were times where I would not want to go to sleep, and people would be telling me, you gotta go to sleep, you gotta go to sleep, and I'm like, okay, just like after this moment, after this moment, after this moment. But there's only so much. You can only be so useful. Huh?
That's the same way it was with me. I hardly slept any during Alice's Eyes.
Right. And
Yeah, same here.
because the thing is, it's like you don't want to leave because you're gonna miss something, and I wouldn't want to leave because I'm gonna miss something that you guys do that would influence the story hours later. So I wouldn't want to go to sleep. I wouldn't want to step away from the computer, and because I was in it as much as you guys were. I mean, you guys barely ever see me, but I've hung out with you guys for hours, for days, at a time. And you guys have no idea I'm there, and that's hilarious sometimes. Ever since Killcam, it's we're always in the background working on stuff, constantly changing, and I mean, I can say without a doubt this is probably, you know, one of the more creatively fulfilling projects I've ever worked on. And a lot of that has to do with the crew that April was able to bring together. And you know, it's, I mean, she's awesome. Like she's not watching right now, and don't tell her, but yeah, you know, it's like to do something like this is crazy, and you know, she's definitely our fearless leader.
Yeah.
You know, and
April's kind of insane in an amazing sort of way.
oh, she is absolutely. She's crazy. I swear to
Yeah,
God.
she's
But
genius.
honestly, I wouldn't want to work for anyone who
You can't
wasn't.
do shit like this unless you're completely nuts.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100% with that
Absolutely.
statement. You cannot be doing this unless you're 100% nuts. Because there are many people who would be afraid
Yeah.
to do anything live. There'd be many people who would be afraid to do improv live. There'd be many people who would be afraid to do everything we do, and we go off without a net. You know, we the way the analogy I tend to use is
They're
we're
scared of the
sprinting off a
flips. They're
cliff.
scared to see if it'll work or not.
A-
Worried about
Absolutely, you know
mistakes.
it, and it happens. You know, there are things that
Yeah.
completely
The
mess
as
up.
well that I see from our side is you trust yourself, but you trust the audience as well. You
Absolutely,
know that we'll jump in and keep this going,
yeah, because you guys
which is
also
really cool.
are
That's
a
why
part of the story. You guys are,
love the interaction.
yes, the interaction, of course, because you know, and that is what makes us different than everybody else. You can not only are you interacting with the characters, but you're also influencing the story, but you're also talking about it amongst each other. And that is something no other show could possibly have, because you guys are able to talk about it as it is happening.
No.
So, you know, I think that
Yeah.
that is what is, you know, amazing about this type of storytelling. And you know, fundamentally, we all see ourselves as storytellers first, because that is what we're doing. We're all coming together to tell a story, and it is amazing that, you know, so many of you guys have uh, come on this journey with us, and you know, we're telling the story because you guys want to watch. You know that you guys are enjoying it, so you know we're gonna keep doing it for as long as we possibly can. Because honestly, who's gonna stop us? No one. You know, we can do whatever we want whenever we want. Like, how is that not the best thing in the world? You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I cannot wait for the dying game for the simple fact that it's been pushed back a year. Just tells me that it's going to be epic.
Yes. You know, the dying game should be a lot of fun. It's been in the works for a while. It does keep getting pushed, as you know things tend to do, but you know, we're not going to stop doing things. When it got pushed the first time, we're like, fuck it, we're doing Alice's Eyes. And then we're like, you know what? Let's do another one. And we're just going to keep doing shows until all the pieces for the dying game line up. But of course, we're also learning many, many things every time we do a show. Every time we go live, we learn something new. And that influences the shows that come in the future. So the dying game, you know, is changing every time we do something live. So
It helps out in certain ways that might have not helped out before.
yes, yes, it has. Uh, and it helps us see things, and it helps us avoid problems that we've had in the past. But you know, everything we do is to do new shows. So whether we hold on, I'm sorry, I had to mute that. I got another commercial, so I can't hear you guys right now. But anyways, we every time we do a show, it's to get better for the next one, and our plans are to do more. You know, if you guys are willing to sit there and watch us do something crazy every few months, then damn it, we're gonna do it, because that is, um, live creation like this is a drug unlike anything you can possibly take. It is creatively fulfilling, and it is, you know, it's amazing, honestly, and I am excited to be working on it every single time I do. Every time April calls me up and is like, "Hey, we're doing another project," I was like, "Dude, let's do it." I can't. I doubt I'll ever say no to her because it's about having fun ultimately, and this is the most fun I think I could possibly have is telling stories with actors who want to play and an audience who wants to play. Because you guys aren't cynical. You guys are like, okay, it's a show, let's do it. You guys are having fun, we're having fun, let's all have fun together. And that is what's really cool. That the audience has moved from being a passive voice to an active participant, and I think that's just really cool to watch. It's really cool to experience. And I during Alice's Eyes, we had someone shooting in the background, BTS stuff. So hopefully, that'll get cut and stuff, and you guys can see the kind of fun we were having in the background. But yeah, it's amazing that we can do this, and thank you guys very much for coming along. Oh my, everything's. Guess we need to tell the people to calm down on the fans. Um, so let's see what time we've got. We've got 8 minutes left in Hat Chat. Is there anything you guys want to talk about for 10 minutes or so? All right, I can just ramble, I guess. But I'm sorry. I just realized that I turned down my sound, so I didn't hear the beginning of it. Could you start over? Oh, well, you can hear it. Um, well, that sucks. I mean, I hope your eyes are okay. Eyes are your most important things, people. Yeah, I've worn glasses almost all my life, and yeah, having eye surgery. That's oof, I couldn't imagine knives going anywhere near my eyes. Fuck that. But I hope you're okay, and it'll be fun, to listen. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
Tell her so she can spot them by the blurs.
Ah, yes. Um,
Tell all the actors to wear something brightly coloured.
yeah. Well, we'll you'll be able to tell the difference in their voices, and the difference between a human and a zombie is that a zombie just goes. So if you hear that, it's either Sylvester Stallone or a zombie. But we'll just tell you it's a Sylvester Stallone cameo.
You're a very good zombie, by the way.
Huh?
You're a very good zombie, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. I went through. We all went through exhaustive zombie training. It was at least like 3 months of rehearsals, just specifically to do that one scene, and I really think it paid off. All that work. Uh, yeah. In tribute to April.
Were you the one that was making that screeching noise the entire time?
Yes, it probably was me. Because like in my head, I see that if I'm a zombie,
Because
it's
that creeped the shit out of me, man.
the way I see it is it's like it's painful to be a zombie. There's like this sense of loss that you have. Like you're kind of human. I imagine you still have some residual memory, and you just miss being human, and it's just sad that you're a zombie. And I imagine being dead is very painful, especially if you are reanimated.
I love that you put so much thought into this. Those people are just like zombie.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
entire background and psychology and everything.
yeah, well, when you're sitting there and just creating a whole world from thin air, you have to think of like these connections and stuff like that. So as I'm writing it, I'm like, oh well, why would the zombies need A, B, and C? So that's it, it's fun creating these rules because honestly, like zombies don't exist. Yes, there are some zombie rules that are on the internet and stuff, and these are agreed upon things. But ultimately, zombies are mythical creatures like unicorns. You know, some unicorns taste like glitter if you have unicorn meat, and some of them are magical beings that would crush you. But it's really up to the individual person. So for our zombies, well, I won't tell you too much about our zombies or what I'm thinking about them because spoiler alert. But I do tend to put a lot of unnecessary thought into things. There's a lot of backstory that the actors may be aware of that never really comes up because either the conversation never goes down those avenues, or it it becomes irrelevant because you guys brought up something else that was cooler. And that's what's fun about it. Is that even though I know where we're supposed to be going, I have
Oh
no
god,
idea if we're actually going there because you guys switch things around, and I love it absolutely. We all do. It's because you guys are this organic element to the story. Um, and that's what makes it really cool is that we're telling the story, and if we're telling something that you guys don't pick up on, then it didn't happen, and we no longer go down those avenues. um, just as an example, during Alice's Eyes, I don't know if you guys noticed, but everybody was coughing in that room. Like, we made a point of have everybody like was coughing, until after a while nobody picked up on that story beat, and so all of the things that had to do with people coughing were just dismissed, moved off to the wayside, um, because other things were more important, and that's fine. That's the
it
beauty
kind
of
of
it.
got men distracted by other stuff.
Oh, exactly. And that's the thing is that sometimes we could present you guys with something really cool, but if something else just happened and nobody's paying attention, then it didn't happen. And there would be a lot of people who would be like, well, if we put all this time and effort on this one story beat, then we have to hit the story beat. Well, no. If the audience organically arrives at a story beat, then we tell the story beat. I don't believe we should ever force the story down your throat, because that's not, you guys are picking up what you want to pick up, and we take cues from what you want to pick up and then give you more of that. So there are always things that you guys will have no idea to pick up on. But occasionally one of you would be like, hey, what about, and then we start going down that path. But that is never set in stone. Sometimes you guys miss a story beat only to come back to it later. And we have to be organic enough and fluid enough, and be comfortable enough with changing the story at a moment's notice to be able to do that. Um, there's a lot to what we do, a lot of thinking that goes along with it, um, because when you're working with an infinite number of possibilities, it's best to we're holding for helicopter. Ah, yes. I don't know what you refer to them where you're from, but where I'm from, we refer to those as ghetto birds. Police helicopters. Yes, good times. Um, so where was I before I was so rudely interrupted by the police? Let's see. Because you can see your audience reaction, you have more flexibility to adapt, unlike Stan. I'm not sure who Stan is, but I would agree. Yes. Um, we can give you more of what you want, because we know what you want. We know what threads you've picked up on and that you find interesting. And, we find it interesting, the different things that you find interesting. So it's, we're constantly, looking at this, shifting map. It's like having a map in shifting sands. We have many different places we can hit along the way. Sometimes we hit them, and sometimes we don't. Um, and you guys have no clue as to what story beats we're hitting, what story beats are being created, because for you guys it's just this organic story that's playing out in front of you. And that's a lot of hard work, but a lot of fun. And everybody behind the scenes is constantly working to make sure that we're telling a cool story for you guys, and a story that resonates within you. um, there was a moment in Alice's eyes, and this is things that I was thinking of as I was working on it. That when I was on set, I said to the people who were there, I was like, I want the audience to come to the realization that if you fight in the room, you're going to die. So I said this as it was about like 20 hours into the first day, and I said this to them, and it's like by that point I was going to bed. I was like, I'm fried. So I went out for a walk to clear my head, and then to go to sleep. And then when I woke up, the people who were in the room, the first thing they said to me was, 5 minutes after you walked out the door and you said that, the audience came to that realization, and they understood what you were trying to do. And at that point, I was like, holy shit, 20 hours in, you guys realized exactly what I wanted you guys to come to the realization of. And that, of course, helps move the story along when you guys understand what I want you to understand when I want you to understand it. Um, and for me, that was an amazing moment because I set out to do something and you guys did it exactly. Like whoever said that verbalized exactly what I wanted you to verbalize. And that was helpful for every time someone would go into the room, because then you guys realized what your job was, which was to keep people from fighting. And you guys didn't know this. Like, we didn't say, hey, watch Alice's eyes, keep people from fighting. But it is something that you guys organically came to realize because that's the way everything had been set up. And for me, that was an absolutely amazing moment because because I knew that there was definite power here, and we're playing more than just a game. We're actually making you guys think and feel. And at the end, when you guys were giving us the standing ovations and you guys were crying, like for me, that was amazing. Like I was getting teary. Like I'm not gonna lie, watching your reaction to what we had just done. And again, this is after 170 hours, so there was no more gas in our tanks. We're all just fried. Like all ounce of energy and everything was left out on that set that day, on Valentine's Day. And it was, we just had to leave everything out there. We couldn't, everything we do was about telling this amazing story. And then we told this amazing story, and then you guys got it and you understood. And that is what made me teary. That, you know, that you guys had so much fun. And, I was, for days afterwards, I was like, man, like honestly, that's the best Valentine's Day I ever had. Like, you know, um, because it showed me so much. Like I literally felt the love coming from the computer screen from you guys. And I want you guys to know that we all like, uh, from the bottom of our hearts, just like fucking loved doing it. And that's why we're still doing it. That's why we're still going to be doing shows, and that's why we're crazy like that. We're just crazy. You know, and of course we've already gone over hat chat time, but we can just keep talking. Like if you guys have questions, that's cool. We'll all just sit here and chill for a bit. Let's see. Doug. Because you can see tiny chat cut off. It was probably Veronica. She was all wisdom bossy. Yeah, she was a little bossy, wasn't there? She. Um, yeah, it's. I can't wait for you guys to see what happens. I can't wait for you guys to follow along with
And
what
then
we're
you kind of
doing.
from the play.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. I just turned up the volume. What did you say, Angie?
Oh, just Veronica was a little bit bossy, which was fun because I'm really not.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. We're bringing all of these characters together, and hopefully they'll have an arc that you guys can see. Because who wants to see someone not change over the course of a friggin' zombie apocalypse, right? But yeah, I'm glad you guys are having fun, and I don't know if April has told you, but our goal is to continue to be doing shows like this. As soon as we can, like as soon as we can get up another show, we'll be doing another show. Because this one we literally met a week after Alice's Eyes and started formulating Freedom Farm. Um, for Alice's Eyes, our very first meeting was like December 28th. Was our very first meeting about doing a show, and from that meeting to was it February 8th, we put a show together and did it. So and the only reason we can do something like that is because there's nobody above us telling us what to do, telling us what we can't do. Um, so we just come up with an idea and we do our best to try to do it. You know, um, and yeah, so I have an insane amount of fun doing it. Um, sitting in my room with a blank piece of paper and a pencil from time to time could be, you know, um, it's its own kind of fun, right? Because you're starting off with a blank piece of paper, and by the end of the blank piece of paper, you've got a whole world. Um, but there's nothing like watching you guys watch it, like watching you guys, see the story as it's being told.
World building is so much fun.
It is. It is. Especially when the people who see you build the world enjoy it as much as you do. Honestly. I mean, I would still be doing this if absolutely nobody was watching because it's so much fun. But it is absolutely a different thing.
Is that you can take on a different persona than you do in your normal doubt in another way.
Yeah. Yeah. No. LARPing. And I'm glad we renewed your joy of role playing. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people like role playing. And very rarely do they get the opportunity to role play like we do. Um, and really, like once you guys started playing along the way you were playing along, like you went from being an audience to being members of the story, and I thought that was great. I absolutely encourage that because it was awesome to see. It's awesome to see the evolution of someone who comes in and they're kind of shy and they're not getting on camera, to eventually getting on camera but not speaking, and then being a full member of the community. To see that evolution is awesome, and I'm glad that we can come together and do something awesome. Do something awesome for you guys.
Being a full member of the community.
And
into the story what has developed.
You guys, I'm sorry, what? What were you saying, Ryan?
To be a full member of the story and be able to tell new characters what's happening.
Yeah. And it's because it brings you into the story. It makes you an active participant. And honestly, like that's where we're going in this world. Like, we're gonna want to be participants in the stories. Because we already play MMOs. We're already creating characters and avatars and versions of ourselves on the internet. So it's, it's only a matter of time before we want a version of ourselves and the stories that we see. And I think that we're giving people that opportunity because you guys come in as whomever you want and enjoy the story that way. And I just think that's really cool. All right. Well,
One thing I really like, which is really difficult for creators to do, is the story, if you let go, like you were saying, you kind of change it based on what we pick up. And that's as a creator as well. I know how hard that is to do. I love when you do that.
absolutely. Because there's this.
Hey, I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys
later, Ryan. But yes, absolutely. It's. I imagine what's keeping people from doing the kinds of things that we're doing is fear. They're afraid of what is going to happen. And we're fearless. There's no reason to be afraid of anything. We're perfectly confident in our ability to tell a story, in our ability to to execute what we want and put what we want on camera. To shoot what we think is necessary. We're all competent in filmmaking. In If we wanted to do a regular movie, we all could. We all can just take our skill sets and do that. But this is so unlike anything else that's possible right now that we're just having a shit ton of fun. And I'm glad that you guys come along with us. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's Doug has said that I'm getting a bit of ironic joy in accusing the other audience members of being ATF narcs. Yeah. Well, with the it's funny. During Killcam, we had Kevin Crocker. Of course, he was the original #1 fan, and he was literally the second voice, the second person to ever come on and speak to one of our actors. Like 2 minutes after Killcam went live, he was there. So he's seen a lot of shit. But it was hilarious because of his time zone. He's in Japan and he's a teacher, so he had odd hours for what we were doing. And it would suck because we would plan on killing someone, right? And we would know, okay, this person's death is happening in T minus 45 minutes. And then it's like, all right, T minus 30 minutes, T minus 15 minutes. And then like Kevin is like, all right, well, I've been here all day. I have to go, guys. And then he would leave. And then, boom, the person in the room dies. And of course, everybody was like, oh, Kevin, you're the killer, man. You're the killer. And it was hilarious because everybody was accusing him of being the killer. I would get on Tiny Chat as a random person and be like, oh, Kevin is clearly in on it. He must be doing everything. And it was hilarious. So, yes, absolutely. Accuse each other of being narcs and stuff like that. It's hilarious because you never know. Maybe you could be talking to us. And maybe it's us who is talking to you. But
I never tried the conspiracy theories on Ustream about Veronica. It was hilarious. I was behind everything on Ustream. It was brilliant. I thought and I talked to Vicky about it, Vicky Hogan, and she kind of said, yeah, her friends were watching, and they kind of thought I was behind it as well. Awesome. I love the conspiracy theories.
Yes. Because the thing is, it's like people will believe the conspiracy theories, and then they're not going to see the truth when it's coming. And then, like, the truth has been sitting them in the face, staring them in the face the whole time, and then it's like, oh, what? It's going to be hilarious. Well, you never saw Veronica and Norm in the same place at the same time. Oh, for Alice's eyes, you mean? Fucking cheesecake. Yeah, the fucking cheesecake. Wasn't that a hilarious moment? It was. And it was that moment was so organic. Yeah, and by the way, it's like 5:15, but we're just gonna keep going because fuck it. Um, the cheesecake. So like they had come up with this story, the story beat for themselves when we came in about the cheesecake, and it's like, all right, this is gonna be our secret, and it's gonna be like, I'm lactose intolerant, and I thought that was friggin' hilarious. And when the story was playing out, like you guys were like, "Oh my god, what is the secret that's going to destroy them?" Because you guys were like, "Oh no, what's going to be?" And then when he revealed that he was lactose intolerant, and everyone just busted out laughing, it was so amazing. It was just like this perfect cathartic moment.
They played it so well.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Um, but so after that happened, we were like, "Oh my god, we need to get a cheesecake in there." Because how else is this? Because the story hadn't come up yet, and we needed the story to move along because we're getting we were getting close to the end, and we needed certain story beats to come out, and this was one of them because this of course led into um, uh, Victoria's character's secret, and I forget the character's name right now. But which was that she couldn't have a child.
Susan.
Susan, correct. So Susan couldn't have a child, and that was heavy and serious. So obviously the opposite side of the coin of I'm lactose intolerant. And since we needed to push that story along and for it to come out, we're like, we need to get a cheesecake. So we sent someone out to Ralph's. We're like, just go get us a cheesecake. And they went off and they ran off and they came running back in and we're like, all right. And we cut it up and we put two Hershey's Kisses on top. And we slid it in and we gave it to them and it was great. Um, and it was just like a little moment. It's like that fed into the whole ending. That helped begin the process of finishing the story, right? Of ratcheting up the tension, of letting us hit that climactic end where Richard and Susan decide that they're going to be together no matter what happens, and they prove their love to Alice and to Norm and to you guys, and they're able to get out. But yeah, and it's like oh, piece of cheesecake, you know. But yeah, no, it's like the production is filled with those tiny moments, and we just love doing it, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying watching it. Are the zombies lactose intolerant? No, our zombies are not lactose intolerant. Um, Although they may be intolerant about other things. Um, that's right. Our zombies are racist. I'm saying it. They don't want to. They don't want to say anything before, but it's true. No. um, but well, guys, I hope you.
Racist zombies.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna happen.
Because hey, the difference between racism and zombieism, not it's a very fine line. Racists, they all just want to eat your brains too, I believe. I think that's the KKK slogan, isn't it? I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've been in the Klan. um, so, well, I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves during this tiny hat chat. Um, so I guess we'll see you guys in a few days. And thanks for chatting with. Well, it's fun because I'm not wearing my God Killer mask. I'm not moderating, making sure a giant penis doesn't come out of from anywhere. I'm just I'm just here, hanging out with you guys.
Oh, in the case of Saturday, a very tiny penis.
Yes, no, of course. Whenever a penis comes on Tiny Chat, the first thing anyone should ever say is, "Wow, that's a tiny penis." That's clearly, because that's really the only thing you can say when you're being attacked by a random cock. um, but it's very rarely do I just get to sit here and talk with you guys. Yes, moderating. So yes, thanks for hanging out, and thanks for watching. And know that we're all constantly working to make sure you guys get an awesome show. So yeah, hopefully we'll have, infinitely more announcements coming soon about all the cool things we're going to be doing. Although honestly, we have no idea what those cool things are until we sit down and start doing them. Um, but that's the beauty of what we do.
Yeah, you got to make them up first.
Huh?
I'm sure they'll be cool.
Oh, absolutely. If we're doing it, oh yeah, they're cool. Um, so I guess I will now say goodbye and thanks for hanging out. I'm now going to go over here.
Nice to chat to you.
Let's see, and we're gonna go stop